Let's get into this. All right. So the stock market took a beating today. The Dow Jones down 614 points, finished the day down 614 points. S&P finished the day down 75 points. And the NASDAQ finished the day down 330 points. And Bitcoin was down 7%, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right. We're not even going to waste any time. We're going to jump into it. It was a couple different factors that played into this.
Yeah.
But first, we got to talk about the Chinese real estate company worth $300 billion that could potentially go bust. So this is something that we was watching on CNBC today. Interesting story.
Yeah.
We always say that you have to always know what's going on overseas, because what happens overseas, especially in China, especially in Asia, has a real effect on what happens in on American market. So. All right. Who wants to tackle this first?
I was so excited to send it to you. I was like, wait, it's only 6.
Yeah, you was up early sending it. Yep.
You want to start? Because I feel like Evergrande is a company that nobody's probably ever heard of prior to today.
If they've done research, they will be familiar.
Most people. So I'll give them the overview, and then we can get into it. So the overview, obviously, we said Evergrande is the second largest retail real estate developer in China. Here's the issue, right? They have 300 billion in liabilities, right? 88 billion of that comes from interest debt. This is where the problem comes in. So they got over 1,300 projects spread out through 280 cities. So they build in theme parks, resorts, sports arenas. But the issue is that they've run out of money. And so people are comparing this to what we've seen in our economy with the Lehman Brothers, like in 2008, and they're trying to compare it. But there's some vast differences. So that's the overview for it. And then, we can kick it, and I'll go back and forth with you if you want.
You hit the nail on it. It feels like Lehman. That's the new chat. Feels like Lehman. Nothing else to say. And remember when everyone said, but it's good debt. Good debt is good. I told you, good debt is good until it get called upon. Now, with them going this route and getting close to run out of their money, you have to look at number 3 through 10. And see if they'll collapse. And if they start to collapse, it will be a ripple effect throughout the entire world. You have to be very careful. There is no such thing as good debt. This is how you know. If you would let me or Rashad or Troy pay off the debt, it's not good. Because if you were that in love with the debt, you would hold on to it. My grandmother used to tell me, God rest her soul, there's a difference between reason that sounds good and sound reason. That's one of those pieces of advice that sounds good. But if you've ever been in debt, doesn't matter the interest rate, you want it to be paid off. Please look for companies that have low debt ratios and high cash flow. But I hope this bubble doesn't burst. But if it does, this is another reason why I've told you guys, stay away from China. Stay away. Why do you want to invest in a country that is our enemy and then 2 you've never been to? You won't buy a product from someone who looks like us unless you know our auntie name, but I'm gonna go to Beijing and then invest domestically, invest in companies that invest in companies with low debt, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you said something very important there. You said if they're willing to let us buy the debt, that's a red flag. And I think I heard Kramer say it. I was like, wow, that's powerful. If your employer is letting you borrow money to pay for debt, you need to find a new job.
Yep.
Because that's just a never-ending cycle, right? They're going to allow you. So it's going to be interesting. And so a lot of people are like, wait, this is in China. How does this affect our economy? Well, we got a lot of American companies that are in China, right? Like we know a company that we talk about a lot, and sneakers up behind me, Nike, right? They rely on the Chinese economy. Starbucks, multiple locations, right? They try to take over China. And this is, that goes back to my Lucan lesson. But yeah, Starbucks, huge in China. Tesla, we know that they rely on that market for a lot of their sales. And so if there is a crisis, a financial crisis, like what we saw with the Lehman and the housing market crash, if it starts affecting the Chinese economy, then it trickles down to the American economy. So we just got to be very, very mindful about that.
And those are blown up. SPACs are blown up. Low grade investments are blowing up. When things are at a high and things start to trickle down there, and Rashad, my apologies for cutting you off. When the market starts to pull back like this, you can really see who's good versus who is bad, and just they've been profiting from the market going up. We're really going to get to see which companies have been producing revenue, which ones have just been piling on debt.
Somebody in the chat said, what do you mean by 3 to 10? You said if we could see the 3 to 10.
Well, if they're the number 2 company and they're going to go bust, look at number 3 versus 10. Like, for example, like if LeBron files for bankruptcy this year, which you won't, billionaire, I would be worried about Lillard and Luka and everyone else as well. So if the number 2 developer in that country, which is bigger than us, is going bankrupt or running out of cash, what do you think the 25th best developer is going to do?
Right. Yeah. And so a lot of people and we saw this, right? And that was one of the movies we watched, Too Big to Fail. But this isn't the United States government we're talking about, right? Like, we're talking about a completely different system of governance out there. So a bailout might not be an option, right? Like, our companies got bailed out, and obviously a lot of Americans were affected, but the companies got bailed out. Who knows what happens, right, with the Chinese government if they just say, you know what, we're going to let you fail.
Yeah. We will monitor the situation. It's something to keep an eye on. 5,400 people on YouTube. This is going to be a big episode. Don't forget.
Love y'all. Red Panda family, check in, shout out, take notes.
I want to ask another question around the market, but before that, I want to ask a stock question. Troy, we were talking to Jamal the other day. Shout out to him.
Guy. What's up, Smalls?
And he had some success with his stock. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, man. So it's actually something we had on a group chat call. Company called UP. Well, the symbol, I'll give you the symbol, UPST. And so it's Upstart Holdings. And so he had spoken about it. Yeah, exactly. If you're looking at the chart, if you haven't, I'm gonna say it again.
Baby.
And so this was I feel like we did this call in February. So if you even look at it in February, if you look at the chart.
Last February.
2021. And so at the time, it had pulled back a little bit. It had ran up in December and January, and then right mid-February, it pulled back down to $51. I was like, Jamal, why are you telling me this, man? Like, this is a pullback. He's like, nah, man, I really believe in this. I really believe in this. And I was like, all right, okay. And lo and behold, man.
Small's my number the same. It was at 22 last year, but Small low key on the swing trading, he a beast. Yeah.
And so you could imagine, to our surprise, when he told us about the gains that he saw here. So it ran up from 600, and he had some leaps in it, some option calls, short-term and a few long-term ones. And it ran up to 309. Obviously, there was a large pullback today, but man, them group chat calls life.
I wanted to highlight that because it's about it's like fishing. Sometimes you just have to be patient, and talked about that in February, and now reap the rewards of it. But a lot of times people, like, I was on my financial planning call the other day, and somebody was saying, like, I'm investing, but I haven't really seen any returns. And I'm like, when you start investing, it's like August. I'm like, well, it's only 1 month. So that right there was a success story.
Yeah, I think we did the numbers. If he had invested like 100,000, it would have been like 10 million at this point.
Smalls, you got my number.
Listen, like 51 to 309. I'm like, how do you just not say like, hey, remind us of the call we had? But that's what
was in our group chat.
No, it was in the EYL University group chat.
The one that we're gonna have on Wednesday.
Yeah,
the one that we do every month for EYL University.
I'm not in that thread. Smalls, call me. How your people call my people directly? My God.
My graduates from my school being Forbes. Bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop. Bag drop.
Bag drop.